not fighting. And we discussed this in last class also. But finally, when Arjuna surrenders to him, Shishyasteham, Shishya means disciple. So, Krishna, now I am your disciple, please guide me. Then Krishna goes to explain him the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. So like that, these verses are selected because they are very important for personal devotional service as well as preaching. So what we are planning, that next week, 3 days, we will just have shloka memorization session, because I know doing it alone is very difficult. But we go verse by verse, we learn the translations, and then we go back and memorize the verses. So next 3 sessions, we will just focus on memorization of the verses. Today, we will go further in chapter number 2. So in last class, we completed chapter number 1. Just we can have a little recap of that. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So we are on unit 1, and last class was our lesson number 2. We studied a few main points. We identified Arjuna's reasons for not fighting. We have seen how Arjuna became completely perplexed and he gave up his bow. His bow was invincible. Actually, Arjuna took a vow that whoever will tell him to give up his bow, he will kill that person. A story comes in Mahabharata where Karna was fighting with Yudhishthir. And the fight was so heavy, Yudhishthir became injured. And as Yudhishthir became injured, he saw Arjun and he thought Arjun will handle Karna. But in this situation, I cannot fight with Karna. So Yudhishthir left the battle and came back to his tent, to his camp. Arjuna thought that Yudhishthir is so much wounded, I should go and check how he is doing. So Arjuna came back to the camp to see Yudhishthir. But as Yudhishthir saw Arjuna, Yudhishthir became very, very angry. He said, how can you come back without killing Karna? Have you lost all your power? Have you lost all your courage? You are not a Kshatriya now. Better you give up Gandiva. Better you give up your bow. Now, as far as insult was concerned, Arjun was not bothered because Yudhishthir was his elder brother. But when Yudhishthir told that give up your bow, then Arjuna became very angry because he took the vow that anybody who will tell him to give up the bow, he will kill him. So Arjuna started, he was ready to kill Yudhishthir. Now Krishna had to come, because if Yudhishthir is killed, Yudhishthir is the main person from Pandava's side. If Yudhishthir is killed, the Pandavas already lost the battle. So then Krishna had to intervene. Krishna told Arjun, what are you doing? I inspired you to fight and kill, but not Yudhishthir, the Kauravas. Why are you killing Yudhishthir? Arjuna said, I cannot do anything. I took the vow that anybody who will tell me to give up my bow, I will kill that person. And Yudhishthir told me to give up my bow, so I will kill him. Krishna told Arjun, I have a better solution. What is the better solution? See, for a Kshatriya, insult is as good as killing. So you insult Yudhishthir. And if you insult Yudhishthir, then it is as good as killing him. Arjuna liked the idea. So all that was in Arjuna's mind. He started to speak that because of you, we lost everything in gambling, and Draupadi was disrespected, and we had to go to the forest, and this and that. He started to tell so many things. Then Krishna stopped. Okay, that is enough. Now you almost killed Yudhishthir by your words. But then after speaking all that, Arjuna became very, very miserable. He said, how can I speak like this to my elder brother? Better I kill myself. I have insulted my elder brother. I should commit suicide. Now here's another problem. If Arjuna dies, then again they will lose battle. Krishna was again in anxiety. What to do? Then Krishna told Arjun, I have another better solution. If you glorify yourself, that is as good as killing yourself. That is as good as suicide. So Arjuna, now you glorify yourself. So Arjuna started to glorify himself. I am such a archer, and from childhood only I was the favorite of our Dronacharya, and I could shoot the arrow in the eye of the bird, which was said by Dronacharya. And I went to heaven to get weapons, and so many things Arjuna told. And Krishna said, okay, that's enough. That is as good as committing suicide. If you glorify yourself, that is as good as committing suicide. So for Arjuna to give up his bow was such a serious thing that if anybody would tell him to give up his bow, he would just kill them. And here he gave up his bow himself. Why? What were the reasons? Arjuna gave 4 main reasons, which we discussed in the last class. So anyone would like to tell the first reason? We'll go one by one. First reason? Yes, Nishta Mataji.
Compassion.
Compassion. He was compassionate, but was that compassion genuine compassion? Prabhupada told that compassion is misplaced compassion. That compassion was not for the spiritual cause, but that compassion was based on the material calculations. What was the second one? Yes, Rasamrit Prabhu. Please unmute.
To everybody, please accept my humble obeisances. In fact, my wife wants to speak.
Okay, okay, Mataji.
Yeah. Krishna. Second reason was enjoyment.
Yes.
Arjuna saw how could he enjoy if his relatives are not there.
So he was very much concerned about his own enjoyment. That if my relatives will not be there, with whom I'll enjoy. So that was his second reason. Yes. Third reason, Anupama Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat. Third one is destruction of family.
Yes. How destruction of family?
Like he's very fearful that he has to kill all his family members, and like Yudhishthir, brothers, his grandfather, and all family relatives.
Yeah, that is there. Also, he was saying that if all men will die, women will become polluted. Women will become polluted. There will be unwanted, irreligious population, Varna Shankar. And if there will be that kind of population, then the society will be, family traditions will be destroyed. So he was concerned about the family traditions. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Saurabh Prabhu, fourth one.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So
Yes.
Arjuna was also fearful of the sinful reactions that will come after the killing of Kauravas, brothers and family relatives.
Yeah. So he was concerned about the sinful reactions also. He was saying, if I kill them, then I will incur many sinful reactions. And therefore he decided that I will not fight. Now it is very interesting that Arjuna was very concerned about the structure of the society. The main point where he elaborately spoke was destruction of the society. That if there will be Varna Shankar, if there will be unwanted irreligious population, the Varnashram Dharma will be destroyed. So this Varnashrama Dharma is very important point for Arjuna. And it was, in a way, it was a valid point also. Because as a Kshatriya, it was his duty to make sure that Varnashram Dharma was in place. Therefore, we will start today by discussing a little bit about Varnashram Dharma. What is Varnashram Dharma? Varnashram Dharma is a arrangement in the scriptures which gives opportunity to all sections of people to grow spiritually. The Varnashram religion's principles were so designed that the good population would prevail in society for general spiritual progress of state and community. The whole purpose is because people are on different grades, they can gradually evolve spiritually by taking help of Varnashram. There are two words, Varna and Ashram. Varna means occupational duty. Ashrama means their spiritual categories. Both are very important. So we'll see little bit insight on Varnashrama Dharma. They are mainly describing persons' occupational duties. What they need to do. Like you must have seen circus. Have you seen circus? Maybe in some movies you might have seen. You know, there are some joker, and they do so many kind of acts. Like they may walk on rope. Have you seen that? Sometimes they walk on rope, or they may jump from one high place to another high point. But if you observe nicely, there is something at the bottom. They put a big net at bottom. So if there is some accident, he will not fall on ground, he'll fall on the net. If you remove the net and tell that person, tell the clown, okay, now you walk on the rope, he will not do that. Because he know now there is no support. This Varnashram is something like that. See, our goal is to go back to Godhead. Our goal is to reestablish ourselves in our spiritual identity. And it is considered to be Surasya Dhara, walking on the razor's edge. It's not that easy. So when we are doing that task, this net of Varnashrama Dharma is giving the support. Okay, you have tendency of being a brahmachari, Varnashram gives you that opportunity. You have the tendency of being a grihastha, okay, Varnashram gives that opportunity. You are more Brahminical, you want to study more, you want to learn more, okay, that facility is there. You are more managerial, okay, that facility is there. You want to do business, okay, that facility is there. So being in the net, in the protection of Varnashrama, we can progress in our spiritual life. If there is no Varnashrama, imagine if everybody is asked to just sit and chant full day, it's not possible. One time Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati gave an advertisement in newspaper. That time there was a famous newspaper in Bengal, and he gave an advertisement that if somebody joins Gaudiya Math and if he chants whole day, we will give free lodging, free food, free medical, everything free. Just only one condition, he has to chant full day. Now that time Bengal was going through a big unemployment. So many people are unemployed. This kind of offer where you get free accommodation, free food, free medical, everything, and that too, advertisement was given in the most popular newspaper. How many thousands of applications should come? But you know how many applications came? Only one. Only one application came. And that devotee, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, initiated as Krishna Das Babaji. So Prabhupada's very dear god brother. His service was only to chant whole day. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati gave him that facility that you just chant whole day and night and we will make arrangements for you. So it's not so easy task to chant whole day. But Varnashrama gave us that opportunity to engage our tendency to progress spiritually. So in Bhagavad Gita, we find many of such terms which indicate to this Varnashrama Dharma. Like last chapter, we heard from Arjuna this term family traditions, which is called Kula Dharma. We also heard about Jati Dharma, community tradition, community religious activities. Swadharma, one's own. Swa means own. Dharma means his occupational duty. So one's own prescribed duty. And then Swakarma. Again, this will come in 18th chapter. One's own duty. So many terms will come again and again, which will indicate to our inherent nature. And as per the nature, we engage in devotional service. So that is the explanation of Varnashram Dharma. Can somebody read? Yes. Diya Mataji, would you like to read?
Human civilization begins from the stage of an ashram dharma or specific duties in terms of the specific modes of nature of the body obtained.
So this human civilization is mainly starting with Varnashram Dharma. Nobody can be called as human being if he is not the part of Varnashram Dharma. In fact, in Vedic times also, there were many people who were not following the principles of Varnashram Dharma. And they were considered to be as good as animals. Dharmena hina pashubhi saman. If they're not following the principles of religion, they're as good as animals. So human life begins with the platform of Varnashram Dharma. Now this Varnashram Dharma is basically dealing with the three modes of nature. We will study this in subsequent chapters of Bhagavad Gita. There are three modes of nature: mode of ignorance, mode of passion, and mode of goodness. As devotees, we are little familiar about these modes. And as per the modes of person, this categorization is done that, okay, you are a Brahmana or you are a Kshatriya. And in olden days, Guru used to recognize these tendencies in the students. Now, why so many people have this misconception that Brahmana is by birth or Kshatriya is by birth? We had little discussion a couple of classes before also. But this is very important to understand that if somebody says that no, what you are saying is okay, but my surname is Dwivedi, or my surname is Chaturvedi, my surname is Sharma, my surname is such and such, and I am a Brahmana. And somebody may say, no, my surname is Rajput, I am a Kshatriya. Or somebody may say, my surname is Agrawal, I am Vaishya. So how to determine, is there any relevance of birth or there is no relevance of birth at all? How to determine this Varna? Any thoughts on this? Saurabh Prabhu, you want to say something?
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I think, Prabhuji, apart, so one way to identify is on the basis of the nature of a person, behavior, I would say behavior, and the nature of a person. On that basis, we can identify whether it's a Brahmanika, Kshatriya, or Vaishya or Shudra. One way is this, but normally in today's culture where everybody is doing job or business, somehow it becomes a little bit difficult to identify. Means like most of the people are in job, so how would you identify whether it's just, and you can, means like on the basis of profession we can say he's in army, he's a Kshatriya, but there are people who are doing job but also their tendency is Kshatriya. Their nature is more on a Kshatriya level. So yeah, I don't know how to differentiate on that basis.
So you're saying that in current times, of course, we should see the nature of people, but the job they are doing, that may not fit their nature. So it's very difficult to tell which Varna they are. That is true. But now we are discussing that, is it relevant that which family they take birth, does it have any effect or not on Varna? If not, why it is so common for people to believe that Brahmana's son is Brahmana? If you tell a Brahmana that you are not a Brahmana, who is by caste Brahmana, he will not accept it so easily. So why is that misconception so common?
So Prabhuji, I think that's a skin disease. Means like my son is what I am, which is, and
Okay,
therefore
yes,
there's a family tradition, but it is actually not, unless until the nature and the tendency of a person shows up like that of a
right.
particular.
Yeah, Krishna tells that it depends on the person's guna and karma, so it doesn't depend on birth. Okay, then Varat Krishna Prabhu, you have some thought?
You see that before we had the Gurukul system, whereby at a very early age, the children are sent to the Gurukul. And those gurus, they were real psychologists and experts in identifying the ability or the propensity of children in which direction to go, and therefore they are trained accordingly. So this was an accepted norm. But what happened over time was that people who are born in a Brahmin family, they want to keep the benefits of a Brahmin. You know, that because they are that family, coming from that family, so they have a certain sort of control over society for their own personal benefit, which is nothing spiritual. So I think this is where it started, when the whole Gurukul system, was failed, or not failed, but was stopped. And that's why we are here.
Yeah, it's a very important point. With the failure of Gurukul system, actually, technically, society is mostly Shudras. Although it's painful to hear that, but Janmate Jayate Shudra. By birth, most of us, actually everyone by birth is Shudra. And Sanskara Dujo Bhave. By Sanskara, by the proper purificatory processes, person gets rebirth, person gets second birth through initiation, through the education, and then person becomes Vipra by studying the Vedas, and when he becomes perfect, Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. So there are 4 stages. By birth, everyone is Shudra. By Sanskar, by purificatory process, by Diksha, by surrendering to a spiritual master, persons get second chance, second birth. Then when he studies, he starts to study the Vedas, he becomes Vipra. And when he becomes perfect in study of the Vedas, when he understands who is Brahman, Brahma Janati, one who understands who is Brahman, one who realizes who is he, who is God, what is his relationship, one who realizes this Sambandh again, he is a Brahmana. So this category has to be followed. But Prabhupada gives a very simple balancing answer, which can satisfy both the parties. One party is who says no, birth has no role, just the nature. And second party say no, birth is everything. Brahmana's son has to be Brahmana. Prabhupada gives a balancing answer, which is perfectly fitting to both the categories. Prabhupada says, if a child takes birth in a family of doctors, he certainly has more facility to become a doctor than others. So birth has its own role, because from childhood only he will see how doctors behave, how they serve. He will have all books in his home. He will have proper career guidance for becoming a doctor in his own home. But ultimately, he has to study, he has to take admission in the university, and he has to work hard to become a doctor. So both are important. Birth is important, But that doesn't mean that somebody who takes birth in a non-Brahmana family cannot become a Brahmin. Just like somebody who's taking birth in a family of engineers can still become a doctor. So these both parties are right, but they have to be brought together as Srila Prabhupada did. We have so many examples, like Ravana, for instance, was a son of a Brahmana, but he has demonic qualities. So he was never counted among Brahmanas. He was counted in Rakshasas. Prahlad was son of Hiranyakashipu, but he is never counted in demons. He is counted as Bhakta Sreshta, best among the devotees. So like that, there are many. Rishabdev's son. Rishabdev had 100 sons. One was Bharat Maharaj. Another 99. 9 were Navayogendras. They were the best of the Brahmanas. So the son of Rishabdev, who was a Kshatriya, 9 of son of Rishabdev became Brahmanas. And they later gave such nice instructions in 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we have so many nice, wonderful examples in our scriptures, which tells how this Varnashram system was not dependent on just the birth. Therefore, Krishna says, Guna Karma Vibhagasha. Yes, birth has its own significance. You may get that facility in the family, but ultimately it will depend to which mode we belong, what kind of habits we are harboring, what kind of nature we carry. If we have habits in the mode of goodness, Sattva-guna, that is Brahmanical. If we have more prominence of Rajoguna, that is Kshatriya. If we have mixture of Rajoguna and Tamoguna, that is Vaishya. And if we are in Tamoguna, that is Shudra. So as per the influence of these gunas, there is division of these 4 varnas. And according to these 3 modes, these particular sections of society work. Like Satoguna is mostly wisdom and happiness. So Brahmanas will be loaded with wisdom and they will be satisfied. That is the cause of their happiness. But Kshatriyas Rajoguna, they are in passion. They want to achieve things. If you give a gift to Kshatriya, he will not be that happy. But if you tell him, okay, come fight. If you win, you take this. He will be more than happy. He will fight and win it rather than getting a free gift. So that is passion. That is Kshatriya. Krishna tells specific duties of all these sections. Like he tells Brahmana has 9 qualities. Can somebody read?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Yeah. Please read Rasamrit Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhu. Brahmanas, peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work.
So Brahmana is mainly judged by the qualities. We will see Brahmanas and Kshatriyas are mainly categorized by qualities. And Vaishyas and Shudras are mainly categorized by work. We will see that. In Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, Krishna will tell their qualities. But for Vaishyas and Shudras, Krishna will not talk about qualities. He will talk about what work they do. So here Krishna is telling peacefulness, self-control, austerities, purity, tolerance. All these qualities, they become ornaments of Brahmana. We recognize Brahmana by these. Like you remember that pastime from Mahabharata, where Karna, he cheats Parshuram. Karna goes to Parshuram to learn, the art of weapons. And Parshuram was having this rule that I will only teach to Brahmanas. So Karna posed himself like a Brahmana son. And he went there and he was learning from Parshuram. One day it so happened that Parshuram was very tired and he was sleeping on the floor, keeping his hand on the lap of Karna. So Karna was sitting straight. He don't want to disturb his guru. Parshuram was lying down. His head was on the lap of Karna. In the meantime, one insect came and started to bite Karna. It was so painful. He started to, eat his flesh, and the blood was draining out of his body. But Karna was so determined not to disturb Parshuram that he kept sitting in a straight posture. When finally Parshuram woke up, he saw this so much blood is flowing. And he asked Karna, what is this? He said, there was an insect who was biting me, but I didn't want to disturb you. So I was just sitting in straight posture. Now, if somebody does it for us, we'll become so happy. We'll say that, yes, this person loves me so much that he can tolerate so much pain just so that I can sleep peacefully. Parshuram became ferocious, became so angry. He said, you rascal, you cheated me. How you cheated me? You can't be a Brahmana. Because Brahmana cannot tolerate physical pain. He can tolerate mental pain. He can tolerate the impulse of the senses. But when it comes to body, Brahmana's body is not that strong. So you have cheated me. You are not a Brahman. And then he revealed, yes, I cheated you. Then Parshuram cursed Karna that although you learned all this archery and different weapons from me, but when you need this knowledge the most, you'll forget it. And that's what happened when Karna's wheel got stuck and he wanted to take it out. He forgot all his education. And that's when Krishna told Arjuna, kill him now. This is the right moment. So the point is, Brahmana cannot tolerate. His body is not that strong, but his virtues, his qualities are very exemplary. Kshatriya, on the other hand, has strong body. His characteristics are heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage, generosity, leadership. These are some natural qualities of Kshatriya. They can tolerate physical pain. They can extend themselves. They have so much power. But their weakness is they can't tolerate insult. They can't tolerate mental pain. As we discussed in Arjuna and Yudhishthir's case, when Yudhishthir told Arjun, give up your bow, he was ready to kill Yudhishthir. They can't tolerate this kind of insult. And Krishna told that for Kshatriya, insult is as good as death. So these are some qualities of Kshatriya. But now Krishna comes to tell about Vaishyas, where he does not talk now about qualities. Because it's not expected much that Vaishyas will have this kind of qualities. But Vaishyas, they're determined by their work. Okay, Vaishyas, they're supposed to do business. They are supposed to take care of the cows. And they are supposed to do agriculture. Because agriculture and cow protection, cow care, cow service, they are the main roots of prosperity in any society. If there is proper farming and cows are served nicely, community can have no shortage. And then with that prosperity, Vaishyas do business of commodities. There was barter system before. Like one Vaishya is growing grains, like say wheat. Another Vaishya is growing vegetables. Now he needs vegetable and the other one needs grain. So they will exchange. So like that, they used to cater to the demands of society. That was Vaishya. And Shudras were not that intelligent, or rather we say they don't want to do that kind of hard work. So they just serve other Varnas. They just helped other Varnas. Now coming to the ashramas. There are 4 ashramas, as we know. The highest one is sannyas. Sannyas is the perfection of varnashram, where person completely dedicate his life to the service of the Lord, to the service of the society. And his qualities are fearlessness. He's not fearful because he's not body, he realized. Nothing can harm the soul. He's completely fearless. And he, sattva samshuddhir, he is more aware or he is more concerned about the purification of his own existence. And he spends his time cultivating this spiritual knowledge. Jnana yoga vyavasthita. So like that, sannyas ashram is the highest. Then comes vanaprastha. Vanaprastha is one step below sannyas, where person prepares for sannyas. Main activity of vanaprastha is tapasya, austerity. He prepares himself to become detached from selfishness to selflessness. This training comes in vanaprastha. Then grihastha. This we are very familiar, of course. Grihastha means who is situated in home. Griha sthita. Grihastha. One who is situated at home, but his mind is in the lotus feet of Krishna. That is grihastha. How he practiced that? Danam, damascha, yagyascha. He practiced charity. Grihasthas are the maintainer of the whole varnashram system. They are supposed to maintain brahmacharis, vanaprastha and sannyas. But for themselves, they have to be self-controlled. Why specifically self-control? Suppose you are fasting on Ekadashi day and you don't cook anything at home. It's fine. But suppose you are fasting on Ekadashi day and somebody keeps your favorite food item in front of you. And then they say, now you observe fasting. It's difficult. If you don't have something in front, out of sight, out of mind. But imagine your favorite food item is kept in front of you and you have to fast whole day. It's difficult. For grihastha, self-control, because they have immediate facility for sense gratification. But they have to control. For sannyasis, no facility. So for them, it is fine. For brahmacharis, no facility. It is fine. But grihasthas, they have everything on their disposal, but they have to be controlled and sacrifice. They have to practice sacrifice, yajna. So these are the duties of grihastha. And then brahmachari. Brahmachari means student life. Their main occupation is study of the Vedas. So this whole varnashram system is the very life and soul of Vedic culture. You can't imagine Vedic culture without varnashram. It's very difficult. Even when we practice Krishna consciousness, this varnashram system is a very important factor to accept the teachings of Krishna consciousness. We can't be just a avadhuta. You know what is avadhut? Nityanand Prabhu is avadhut. Avadhut means he's above all varnashram. He can wear anything, or if he doesn't wear anything, doesn't matter. You can't count him in a grihastha or sannyas. You can't count him in Kshatriya or Vaishya or Brahmana. He's just above all the factors. But for a sadhaka, for a practicing devotee, he has to fall in the category of varnashram. So Arjuna's reasons for fight were very much based on the relevance of varnashram. He was very concerned that this kula dharma, this varnashram should not fall. And therefore, he submitted to Krishna that, please, don't ask me to fight. Because if we fight, then this varnashram system will fall. So the whole principle in Vedic society was one follows varnashram dharma and he grows spiritually. But if varnashram system falls, How there can be practice of dharma? That was the whole concern of Arjuna. So then Krishna finally started to speak. And when he started to speak, that's how the second chapter begins. So this is a little division of second chapter. We have 5 sections in this chapter. It's the second longest chapter in Bhagavad Gita. The longest one is 18th chapter. The second chapter is the second longest one. It is also called as summary of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna gives the subject matter in nutshell to Arjuna. It is also called as Sankhya Yoga because Krishna gives very analytical, understanding. It is also called as Buddhi Yoga because Krishna tells about how to engage yourself in Krishna consciousness, Nishkam Karma. So like that, the second chapter has so much relevance. So the first part, the first 10 verses, Krishna will chastise Arjuna. Krishna will mildly tell him that you are a fool. He will tell him you are speaking like a very learned man, but you are a fool. So he will chastise Arjuna. But Arjuna will submit his dilemma and he surrenders to Krishna, asks for his guidance. So that is the first thing. Next 20 verses, Krishna gives him Sambandha Gyan. Sambandha Gyan is very, very important. Sambandha Gyan means our relationship. Relationship with what? Relationship with our body. What is our relationship with our body? What is our relationship with material nature? What is our relationship with Krishna? What is our relationship with the spiritual world? All these aspects are called as Sambandha Gyan. So Krishna is not directly telling Arjuna that you should fight, but he is raising his consciousness. He is first bringing him to the point that, my dear Arjuna, you are not this body. You are thinking too much about the body and bodily relations. You have to come above that. So therefore, this Sambandha Gyan is very, very important. And then Krishna talks about little bit of Karma Kanda. Karma Kanda means Krishna inspires Arjuna to do his duties. Okay, that Arjuna, if you cannot digest about the soul, it's fine. But as a Kshatriya, you're supposed to fight. If you win, you will be the emperor of the whole world. And if you die, you will go to heaven. So in either way, you will be winning. So he gives this understanding of Karma Kanda. And then Krishna takes him further up. He says, okay, you don't want to get allured by the results of your fighting, but still you should fight because it's your duty. Nishkam Karma. You should fight because I am telling you to do that. It will not incur any reaction to you. And then finally, Arjuna asked him that, okay, Krishna, you're talking about this person who is following Nishkam Karma, who doesn't have any attachments, who is completely fixed in his determination. How to recognize such a person? How does he walk? How does he talk? How does he behave? So then in last few verses, Krishna talks about Sthita Prajna. What are the symptoms of somebody who is fixed in his determination, fixed in his consciousness? So these are some subject matters of first chapter, the second chapter. So let us start from verse number 1. After Arjuna gives off his bow and he submitted all these arguments to Krishna, then Sanjay is telling Dhritarashtra what happens after that. Sanjay Uvacha. Sanjay said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana, Krishna, spoke the following words. This word Madhusudana is very important. We discussed this in our last class. One of the names of Krishna is Madhusudan. Madhusudan means one who killed the demon Madhu. Now, the doubts are compared to demons. If you have doubts, they are compared to demons. Just like demons, they inflict pain on saintly personalities. They create troubles for saintly personalities. Doubts also create so many problems in our Krishna consciousness. This particular verse, Prabhupada gave very beautiful purport. So we'll just read the purport of this verse. Keshav Priya Mataji, would you like to read?
Hare Krishna. Purport: material compassion, lamentation, and tears are all signs of ignorance of the real self. Compassion for the eternal soul is self-realization. The word Madhusudana is significant in this verse. Lord Krishna killed the demon Madhu, and now Arjuna wants Krishna to kill the demon of misunderstanding that had overtaken him in the discharge of his duty. No one knows where compassion should be applied. Compassion for the dress of a drowning man is senseless. A man fallen in the ocean of nescience cannot be saved simply by rescuing his outward dress, the gross material body. One who does not know this and laments for the outward dress is called a Sudra, or one who laments unnecessarily. Arjuna was a Kshatriya, and this conduct was not expected from him. Lord Krishna, however, can dissipate the lamentation of the ignorant man, and for this purpose, the Bhagavad Gita was sung by him. This chapter instructs us in self-realization by an analytical study of the material body and the spirit soul, as explained by the Supreme Authority, Lord Sri Krishna. This realization is possible if one works without attachment to fruitive results and is situated in the fixed conception of the real self.
What a statement. Prabhupada first focuses on what is Madhusudana. So Arjuna is expecting that just like Krishna killed Madhusudan, Madhu demon, he will also kill all the demon of misunderstanding. But Prabhupada writes such a powerful statement. Compassion for the dress of a drowning man is senseless. Powerful statement. It can shake the understanding of so many religious workers around the world who believe that if you serve the humanity, you're serving God. But what exactly they are doing? They're serving their bodies, distributing free food, distributing clothes, free education. What exactly we are doing? We are trying to save the clothes of a drowning man. Somebody is drowning. A lifeguard goes and he takes out his coat and comes. I saved. What you saved? I saved the coat of a drowning man. How many medals will give to such lifeguard? He'll be fired. You are supposed to save the person, not the coat. How to understand this? Does that mean all social service which is going on in this world is useless? Or they are of less use? How to put it? They are useless or less use? How to understand that? It's a big statement. Any thought? Yes, Saurabh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, I think if it is a immediate requirement, if we need to help somebody, if it is immediately and he's in dire need, then obviously it is necessary because the person is is getting disturbed. But if it is a regular thing that we are distributing free food and every time, then probably it is better to save the soul and to impart the knowledge to the soul rather than distributing free food or free medicine.
See, it's a nice point, but it's a very difficult thing to judge. Somebody may have a cancer and he may need help for months. Somebody may be helping that cancer patient. But according to this statement of Srila Prabhupada, that is just senseless. How to understand this point? Any thought? Anyone
Prabhu?
else? Yes, Neha Mataji,
Yes, Prabhu, because
Namra Sita Mataji, sorry.
yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, actually, whatever we are doing as a social worker, suppose helping the poor and needy ones, it is very temporary. In this, like we are helping them on the bodily level. So for some time, maybe they would be relieved of whatever they are lacking or whatever they are suffering from. But then again, they are back into the same position. So it is very temporary, whatever help we are giving them. This is what my
Yes, then but why ISKCON goes and distribute food? Why ISKCON goes and open hospitals? Why we are doing the same thing? It is again a challenge.
Giving prasadam is giving them some sukriti so that they can maybe in this life or next life get into the bhakti.
Yes, we are giving Sukriti, okay. Yeah, that is a good one. Bharat Krishna Prabhu,
Yeah, as they say, if you give somebody a fish to eat, you better show him how to fish. And that's a higher education, knowledge to fish. So similarly, that what ISKCON is doing is it's a knowledge-based society to give you, the highest gain that you can have in this human form of life, because to have a human body is a great good fortune. And to utilize this is why the Lord himself, he came to give this knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita to Arjun and to benefit us to have the highest knowledge so that we can go back to him.
yes. So that way we raise the consciousness of people, we make them realize the importance of human life. Still, the confusion remains same. Is social service useless? Prabhupada said it's senseless, it's useless. But are we really accepting it? The world will accept it. Amar Nitai Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. So there are different type of helps which we can give to the people in general. For example, we can give them food for a day, we can educate them, but somebody come and can get them out little from the suffering. But if somebody come and says that there is a father who lives in the adjacent village and he is very wealthy, so then and you can go and stay with him, so he will get the best benefit. The same thing if we when we know tell them they are the son of the supreme personality of Godhead, and if they follow the Krishna consciousness, they can go back to the Godhead. So that is the highest. So this is the different level of help which we can provide to the people. And
Yeah,
best
Prabhupada,
is
this is a very, very striking example which we use in our preaching also, that if a rich man's son is lost, you may feed him for a day or two, you may give him some clothes, but best thing is to take him back to his father. Then he will be taken care of, nicely forever. So yes, that is the best social service we can do. Yes, Rasamrit Prabhu, you want to add something?
Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Mata.
Example is like giving the service of food, distributing food. It is not food only, it's prasad. I mean, it's Krishna conscious. We are giving the service that is connecting to Krishna. That's why we are helping the soul to get purified and get connected to Krishna.
Yeah, so basically, outwardly, we may be doing social service, but actually, we are giving them devotional service. Now, let us extend this analogy, which is shared by Amar Nitai Prabhu. Let us extend it a little bit. Now, suppose you are trying to help that child of a rich person, and you are doing the best social service, taking him back to his father. Now, as he told that his father lives in next village, right, Amar Nitai Prabhu? An adjacent village. So you have to drive there. You have to take the child there. Now, on the way, if child becomes hungry, what you will do? Will you say that no, 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 I'm taking you to father, that is the best social service. Now you die hungry, but I will not give you any food because I am giving you the highest thing. If on the way, if he feels cold, what we will do? So Krishna consciousness is the highest service to the society, we agree. We are giving them Shravan Kirtan, we are giving them Krishna consciousness, teachings of Bhagavad Gita, chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But as they are on the course of Krishna consciousness, whatever needs they are supposed to get, that also we should provide. Therefore, Prabhupada would take care of devotees so nicely. He would take care of their food, he would take care of their medical, their accommodation, everything. So Prabhupada started this Food for Life prasad distribution by seeing some poor children in Mayapur searching for food in garbage. And Prabhupada declared that time, nobody should go hungry from any ISKCON temple 10 miles radius from the temple. Nobody should go hungry. Because it's not just about being rude to the needs of people. It's about taking them back to Krishna, at the same time helping them to address the needs of the body. That is Vaishnavism. Even in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see when the devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would come to Jagannath Puri, first thing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would tell them, did you take prasad? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would send his personal servant Govinda to feed all the devotees. So yes, social service without Krishna consciousness is senseless. Taking the same example of drowning men, we have to save the drowning man, and that man is more important than the clothes. But that doesn't mean we will tear off his clothes and bring him out naked. That is not the need. We will save the man with the clothes. But saving the clothes without men is senseless. So that is the purpose of Krishna consciousness. That yes, we distribute food, but that is prasad. We help people in medical, we open hospitals, but that is Krishna conscious hospitals. We give them Krishna conscious training. We give education, but we give education along with our scriptures. So that is the mood which devotees serve in society. So like that, this verse is very important, that if we forget the need of the soul, no matter how much we pamper the body, is just like saving the dress of a drowning man. But Arjuna is asking that Krishna, you got his nice name Madhusudan, but why you want me to become Bhima Sudan? Why you want Bhishma Sudan? Why you want me to become Guru Sudan? You killed Madhu, but you want me to kill my own teacher? What kind of expectation is that? Krishna is asking. Devadev Prabhu, would you like to read?
Prabhuji, you killed the demon Madhu, therefore your name is Madhusudan. But you are asking me to kill my grandfather and teacher. That is a hint. It is all right that your name is Madhusudan. You killed one demon whose name was Madhu, but you are asking me Bhishma Sudan. Bhishma is my grandfather, and Drona Sudan. Sudan means killer. So how can I be that?
So Arjuna is indirectly asking, you didn't kill Sandipani Muni, your guru. You didn't kill your grandfather, Ugrasen. You didn't kill Sursen. And you are telling me to kill my grandfather, my guru. Why is that? So now Krishna cannot control. Krishna starts to speak. There is enough. Arjuna, I have to chastise you. So this is the first verse which Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Kutastva Kashmilamidam Vishame Samupastitam Anarya Jushtam Aswargam Akirti Karana Arjuna. That Arjuna, Kutastva Kashmalamidam, from where these impurities have come to you? Vishame Samupastitam, at such a critical time. Anaryam Jushtam Aswargam, these activities don't fit the Aryans, the cultured people. Aswargam Akirtikaram, you will neither get heavenly planets, neither you will get fame in this world. What kind of situation you have brought yourself to? And this is the first time Krishna is speaking. And the word Shri Bhagavan Uvacha is very important. Prabhupada writes in purple. This particular word is very important because we saw in the first verse, it is told Dhritarashtra Uvacha. Then we saw Sanjay Uvacha. Then we saw Arjuna Uvacha. But now Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. It is not told Krishna Uvacha. It's not said Keshava Uvacha. It's saying Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Because Vyasadeva, who is the compiler of Mahabharata, he wanted to make sure that we understand the difference between other speakers in Bhagavad Gita and Krishna. Krishna is not the ordinary character in Bhagavad Gita. He is Bhagavan. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. As we know, there are 3 levels of understanding the absolute truth. First one is Brahman. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Shabdate Vadanti Tattva Vidas Tattvam Yad Jnanam Advayam. That same absolute truth is realized in 3 ways. First one is Brahman. Brahman means impersonal aspect of the Lord. Brahma Jyoti. The effulgence of the Lord, the effulgence of the spiritual world is called as Brahma Jyoti, Brahman. Second aspect is Paramatma. Paramatma is the localized form of the Lord. These are some basic understandings. These are the common conceptions in the world. When you ask people, 99% of them will tell that Lord is formless. Lord has no form. So this concept comes because, see, we have experience of our own body. And because our body is full of miseries, we can't imagine a body free of misery. And therefore we conclude that Lord cannot have a body. Lord is formless. But their understanding is not wrong. Actually, their understanding is not wrong. It is limited. It is incomplete. It's not wrong. It's incomplete. Because yes, Lord is impersonal, but that is just one aspect of the Supreme Lord. It's not complete understanding of the Supreme Lord. Now, second understanding is Lord is everywhere. He is situated in every atom. He is situated in every living entity. That concept is Paramatma. And the third one is Bhagavan. Bhagavan means Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of God. Personality. He is a person. Just like we are persons, he is also a person. Only difference is he is Supreme Person. Nityo Nityanam, Chetanas Chetanam. We all are eternal, but one being is our leader. That is the Supreme Being. That is the Supreme Personality. Prabhupada gives a simple analogy of sun. When we wake up in the morning, we see sunlight. Some rays of sun may come in our room. And we say that, oh, sun has come. The sun has risen. But you can't see the sun. You can just see the rays. So by seeing the rays of sun, we get some idea of sun. We get the idea of presence of sun. That is Brahma Jyoti. the first realization, the basic realization of the Supreme Lord. Then we can see sun globe. Okay, this round disk is sun. That is more personal experience of sun. That is like Paramatma. Okay, Paramatma is there. Lord is situated everywhere. But who is that Paramatma? How does he look? What are his attributes? What are his activities? What is his name? All these aspects are like going to the sun planet and seeing the sun god. Like this afternoon we had ice cream. Now somebody who goes to sun planet, he may wonder that how sun god would be eating ice cream because so much temperature. So for knowing that, you have to go to sun planet and meet sun god. That is like complete knowledge of sun when you go to sun planet. So Bhagavan realization is like that. Bhagavan realization means knowing God as he is. How he looks, how he talks, how he walks, what are his attributes, what are his qualities. This is complete knowledge. Another simple example of train. In a village, two boys decided that we will go to the city to see train. We've never seen train. In Mauritius also, metro is coming up. By India, train is very common. It's the main mode of transportation. So the train, they have never seen the train. So these two friends go from village to town to see the train. By the time they reached the town, it was already night. So they were standing on the railway station. Okay, let's see the train. From distance, they saw train is approaching. But because it is night time, all they can see is headlight of train. There is this big light in the front engine, and they can just see the light. So they exclaim, yeah, we have seen the train, we have seen the train. What did you see? Train is light. A beam of light is called as train. Then people say, no, train is not like that. Let train come closer. So when train approaches the station, they see, oh, no. There is a structure of steel. That is train. Okay, that is also correct, but still not complete. When finally train stops on station, these two boys go inside the train. They see, oh, they're nice seats. People are sitting here. They're drinking tea. This is train. That is complete realization of train. So similarly, Brahman realization is a very basic realization. Above that, Paramatma realization. And the best and complete realization of absolute truth is Bhagavan realization. So Prabhupada focuses a lot in this purport on this Bhagavan aspect. And what is the meaning of the word Bhagavan? This word Bhagavan is defined by Parashar Muni. Parashar Muni is the father of Vyasadeva. Father of Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is the compiler of all Vedic scriptures, and his father gave definition of what is Bhagavan. Aishwarasya samagrasya viryasya yashashasriya jnana vairagyayaschaiva shadan bhaga iti. What is Bhagavan? Bhagavan is one who has 6 opulences in full. People may have some opulence, like they may have few $100 million, but nobody can claim I have all the money. People may be little beautiful, but they cannot claim that I am all beautiful. People may have strength, but they can't claim I am all powerful. But when you find a person who has 6 opulences in full, that person is Bhagavan. What are that 6 opulences? Vyasdev Prabhu? What are 6 opulences of Lord?
Aishwarya.
Aishwarya. Aishwarya means?
Aishwarya in which that is like all kind of money and that kind of thing. All kind of rajas part.
All riches.
Riches,
Krishna
yes.
has all riches. He is Lakshmipati. He's a husband of goddess of fortune. When he had 16,108 wives, they were not living in dormitories. Each wife had her own palace. That was Krishna's opulence. People say that, oh, Krishna married so many wives, so I can also marry many wives. Can you make palaces of gold and pearls for them? Managing one wife, we know how difficult it is. Managing 16,108 wives for that standard, that building palace for each wife, that was Krishna's opulence. Aishwarasya samagrasya. Yes, Yashodanandan Prabhu. Please unmute.
The most stronger.
Yes. He has all strength. When he was just a few days older, just few days after his birth, he kills Putana. Can any child do that? When he was a couple of months old, he killed Shaktashur. When he was 7 years old, he lifted Govardhan Hill. Nowadays, they have world record. Somebody can say lifted 300 pounds, world record. Then next year, somebody may lift 300.001, world record break, new world record. Okay, somebody 300.0012, okay, new world record. But Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill. Any world record like that? Nobody can beat that world record. Lifting the whole hill, that is Krishna's strength, all powerful. Yes. Next, Saurabh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Krishna is full of renunciation. He has the renunciation quality.
Yeah, Krishna is Vairagyaschevam. Of course, this counted last, but it's also an opulence. See, Vairagya, renunciation attracts. Once Prabhupada came to Bombay, and an ocean of people came to receive him. They're putting a lot of garlands. They were all not devotees, local people in Bombay. They're putting a lot of garlands, and they were fighting to touch his feet. There's so many people. And Prabhupada sat in the car, and there was his servant sitting next to him. Prabhupada asked him, why they want to worship me? He said, because Prabhupada, you preached all over the world and you are the world Acharya, this and that. Prabhupada said, no, because I am free from sex desire. If you are detached, if you are renunciate, that is an opulence. People get impressed, they get touched. It's an opulence. And Krishna is such a opulent, such a renunciate, that he is the supreme personality of Godhead. But what kind of occupation he took? To be a cowherd boy. He just tend cows in forest. That is his opulence. That makes him more enchanting and charming to everyone's heart. And even when he becomes the prince of Dwarka, he becomes the chariot driver of Arjun. And not only that, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he becomes such a renunciate person, such a sannyasi, that whole world, sannyas Shiromani, he is the crown jewel of all sannyasis. The sannyasis take inspiration from the standard of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's renunciation. So he is all renounced. Yes, next, Rasamrit Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhu. The next opulence is all attractive.
Okay, yeah. That means beauty. You want to say beauty?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So he is all attractive because he is most beautiful. Actually, all opulences attract because Krishna has all opulences in full. He is all attractive. Therefore, his name is Krishna. But one of the main qualities which attract everybody is his beauty. Krishna is most beautiful. One time, Srila Prabhupada was traveling, and one person came and he told that, I know somebody in South India who is Bhagavan, who is God. Prabhupada was curious to know which God he's talking about. Prabhupada asked, what is his name? This person said, Sai Baba. He is God. Prabhupada said, okay, can you show me his photo? This man showed him photo. Prabhupada looked at the photo. No, he cannot be God. Why he cannot be God? God cannot be old. Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam cha. Although he is the oldest, but he is Navayovanam cha. He is ever youthful. He is always beautiful. Can God have wrinkles? Can he have old age? Can he die? Not possible. Therefore, he cannot be God. So Prabhupada has his own logics, but they were all completely based on scriptures. Krishna is all beautiful. That is another opulence of Krishna. Anything left? Yes, Nishta Mataji?
Hare Krishna
Which one
Prabhuji is
is
very,
left?
very famous, and
Yes, he is all famous. He is all famous, so much so that he is glorified being a thief stealer. He steals thieves, still people worship him. Can you imagine if somebody calls you thief, how you will feel? But Krishna is being worshipped, called as thief. For a Kshatriya, leaving battle is an insult. Krishna leaves battle and goes, and he's being worshipped as a Ranachor Rai. So that is Krishna. Whatever he does, he's being worshipped. He's so famous. And he's so famous that even atheists are talking about him. How atheists are always talking about him? There is no God, there is no God, there is no God. That means whom they're talking about? They're talking about God only. He's so famous that somebody who doesn't believe on him also always talks about him. That is God. That is Krishna. All famous. Okay, next. Braj Sevika Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So the next one is he is most knowledgeable.
He is most knowledgeable, Jnana. So knowledgeable that 45 minutes of lecture of Bhagavad Gita, and we will need months together to study Bhakti Sastri. So knowledgeable. And that too, we are just studying in summary. If you go deep, it will take lives. So knowledgeable. There is no second edition. Big scientists have written books. Atomic theory, this theory, that theory. And next scientist comes, he punctures the old theory. And he gives new theory. Then new revision of textbook. When we were studying, we always had a problem that you can't purchase the old textbooks, because by the time you come to the next grade, the science textbook get upgraded. There are some additions. But Bhagavad Gita as it is, 5,000 years, is there second edition of Bhagavad Gita? There is no second edition. He's so knowledgeable, just in talks he gave this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. And not only that, he's the source of all knowledge. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannavishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. From him comes all knowledge. So he is all knowledgeable. So all these wonderful qualities which are full in Krishna makes him the Supreme Personality of God. Ishwara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So like that, Krishna is being addressed here as Bhagavan. Prabhupada focused a lot about that. And then Krishna tells Arjun. Can you read the translation? Who will read? Usha Mataji, would you like to read?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
The
please
Supreme
read.
Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjun, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not higher planets but to infamy.
So Krishna started to chastise Arjun. First time Krishna spoke, he was listening all this while. Can you imagine Krishna listening one full chapter from Arjun? He's just listening. So when you have to teach somebody, sometimes you have to listen also. A good listener is a good speaker. So Krishna has listened to everything. He understood the weakness of Arjun, and now he started to tell that Arjun, these qualities don't fit you. How did you get all this contamination? And he further chastised Arjun that, O son of Pritha, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It's a heavy word. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of enemy. Krishna actually insulting Arjun by all these words. It's not this friendship between Krishna and Arjun is not that you scratch my back, I scratch your back. No. Krishna was a real well-wisher of Arjun. That tomorrow, if Arjun makes a mistake, it's not that Krishna didn't help him. A real well-wisher is not that you just pamper somebody. If needed, you have to correct. Like one time, one thief was punished in court, and this thief was sentenced to, the life imprisonment. So they asked him, are you happy with the judgment? The man said, I am not happy. I want something more. What do you want? He said, I am getting life imprisonment, that is fine. But bring my mother and give her imprisonment also. So they told him, what kind of son you are? Nobody wants this kind of punishment for his mother. Why you want your mother to be imprisoned? He said, because first time I stole something in my childhood and I brought to my mother. My mother didn't correct me. Then I kept on stealing. My mother never chastised me. And it became such a habit that today I am being sentenced to life imprisonment. So if we are well-wisher to somebody, it's not that we'll just pamper them. Krishna is giving heavy dose. He's saying, Pratha, you are belonging to the family of Kunti. You are a Kshatriya person. But you are not acting like that. You are not fitting to the Kshatriya spirit. You have become impotent. And this is just weakness of your heart. Give up, rise, fight. You have been chastiser of the enemy. You are so courageous. You fought against so many irreligious activities. And now you're becoming weak. How can I tolerate that? So then Arjuna submits himself. Arjuna becomes completely confused. In text 4, Arjuna tells, how can I really attack my worshipable like Bhishma and Drona? They're worthy of my worship. Arjuna is actually challenging Krishna's words. He is counter-attacking that Krishna, you didn't kill Ugrasen, you didn't kill Vasudev, you didn't kill Sandipani Mani. You are asking me to kill my worshipable like Bhishma and Drona. It would be better to live in this world by begging than to kill these great souls. These are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they may be desiring some material opulence, but still they are my superiors. If I kill them, my empire will be tainted with their blood. How can I peacefully live? So actually Arjuna wanted to forgive them. But Shastras also tell that even if somebody is a teacher or guru, if he is not following the instructions of the scriptures, he can be given up. The scriptures tell that also. Can you share some example where a guru was given up when he was wrong? Any example from scriptures?
Prabhu, Bali Maharaj and
Yes, Bali Maharaj.
the pastime.
Vaman Dev comes.
Yes. So he
Vaman
rejected
Dev comes to beg from Bali Maharaj. And there, Shukracharya, who was guru of Bali Maharaj, stops him. You know he's Vishnu. Don't give him anything. What Bali Maharaj says? So long you were teaching me some Siddhir Haritoshanam, that whatever yagyas we do is the satisfaction of Vishnu. And same Vishnu have come to my door and he's asking me something. Why I should not give? He rejected. So that rejection became devotional service. Actually, Bali Maharaj became Mahajan when he gave up his guru. He was not Mahajan before. When he gave up his guru, he became Mahajan. He set an example that yes, when you surrender everything, then you become completely dependent on the mercy of the Lord. Bhagavatam says, Guru na sasyat, sajano na sasyat, pita na sasyat, janani na sasyat, Devam na tatsyan na patischa sasyan, na mochayet ya samupet mrityum. Guru na sasyat. That guru is not guru who cannot deliver his disciple. Example, Bali Maharaj rejected his guru. Swajano na sasyat. Those relatives are not true relatives who are not able to help us in Krishna consciousness. Any example? Who rejected the relatives?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
So Prahlad Maharaj rejected his, not rejected, but not accepted his father's views.
Yes. Yeah. Prahlad Maharaj rejected his father. That is the next one, Pita na Sasya. He rejected his father, Prahlad. Relatives, any
Prabhu?
example specific?
Vibhishan not accepted his brother in that case.
Yes, Vibhishan rejected Ravan. Amar Nitai Prabhu raised hand.
Vidura rejected Dhritarashtra, although he was getting so many.
Vidura rejected Dhritarashtra and party. Yes. Rasamrit Prabhu.
Eklavya.
Eklavya is a doubtful character. We can't take him as an example for many reasons. Any other? Yes, Venudhari Prabhu.
Srila Prabhupada rejected his wife as a Tioni.
Srila Prabhupada rejected his wife, and Venudhari Prabhu is telling in front of his wife a very courageous statement. So yes, Prabhupada rejected his wife because she was becoming in trouble in executing the instructions of his guru. Yes, Jagat Ambika Mataji.
Dhruv Maharaj, who rejected his fathers and stepmother.
Yeah, actually Dhruv Maharaj was hurt, but Dhruv Maharaj did reject Narada's instructions. When Dhruva was sent to forest by Suniti, Suniti tells that Dhruva, if you want to get Narayan, I have heard that saintly personalities worship him in the forest. So Dhruva goes to forest. Now in forest, Narad Muni comes to test Dhruva. Narad Muni tells, you know Dhruva, children don't take offenses seriously. You want to sit in the lap of your father, right? I will tell him, you come. He will make you sit in the lap. What Dhruva told? If you want to help me to get Narayan, then it's okay. Otherwise, let me go, don't waste my time. He rejected Narad. Then Narad understood, no, he's determined. Then Narada told, okay, this is a Vishnu mantra, go to Vrindavan, chant this mantra, you will get Narayan. So like that, Dhruva rejected. And that's the sign of his determination. Yes, Arun Charan Prabhu. Please unmute.
So, Kunti Maharani rejects all her opulences. In her prayer, she says that Krishna, please give me more troubles rather than being a comfortable life, so that I can remember you.
Yeah. Kunti Maharani even further prays that sever my attachment to Pandavas, to Vrishnis, to Kurus, if that is an impediment in your devotional service. So that is Kunti Maharani's prayer, that no attachment should be more than Krishna. There are so many examples. Pitana Sasyat, we discussed. Jananina Sasyat, one who rejected his mother. Any example? One who rejected his mother for Krishna?
Bharat rejected Kaikai.
Bharat rejected Kaikai, yes.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not really. He didn't reject Sachi Mata. He just sacrificed that love for serving the world. But Bharat's example is appropriate, where he rejected his mother because she offended Lord Ram. Devam na tatsyan. Somebody who given up the demigods for Krishna. Any example? They gave up demigods, demigod worship for Krishna.
We all ourselves.
We all ourselves. Okay.
Devotees,
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
We are the example, but we are following the Brajavasis. The Vrindavan Vasis, it all started when Krishna told, why are you worshipping Indra? You worship me. I mean, of course, he didn't tell that directly. He told you worship Govardhan, and Govardhan is another form of the Lord. So they stopped. Imagine believing the words of 7-year-old boy. Actually, he was not 7 also, he was 6.5. So they believed his words and they just stopped the family tradition of worshipping Indra. So that is their surrender. And we are the followers of the gopis. Gopir bhartur pad kamalayo das das dasanudas. Gopis rejected everybody. Their relatives, their husbands, the family traditions, everything. So that is devotee, where Krishna becomes a prominent priority in devotee's life. So Arjuna is confused. How can I kill my worshipables, my superiors? But when it comes to devotional service, when it comes to pleasing Krishna, these attachments are not very important. And then he comes to the 6th verse. Namra Sita Mataji, can you read translation of 6th verse?
Yes, Prabhu. Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we killed the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield.
So now these words are very important. Nor do we know which is better. This particular phrase of sentence is important. That means although Arjuna was talking like a very learned man, but he is confused. See, if he was so confident about his arguments, he should not speak this line. But he is telling that I'm not sure what's supposed to be done. This is called indecision. This is the fifth reason for Arjuna not to fight. He was not completely convinced that I should fight or not fight. He was confused. He may win, but still he was thinking about all those factors of enjoyment, sinful activities, this and that, and he was completely confused. So this indecision becomes the last reason. And in that state of mind, Arjuna does the perfect thing. Arjuna surrenders. See, these perplexities, these problems may come in everyone's life. But Arjuna is so best example for us to follow, because what Arjuna did in that perplexity is important. Arjuna surrendered to Krishna. And this is the verse with which we started today. Karpanna dosho pahata subhava prachami tvam dharma sambhuda cheta yashreyasyan nishitam bruhitanne shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapanna. When he became completely confused, he is not able to take any decision, he is not knowing what to do next, he finds out Krishna standing in front of him. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur tells that Krishna is smiling. If your friend is completely perplexed and you are smiling, you will understand, okay, this person knows the solution. Suppose you are not finding your key and your friend is smiling, that means what? He has the key. So Arjuna is understood that my problem, Krishna can solve. So he surrenders. It's very important verse. Let's see who didn't speak. Sri Radha Kripa Kataksha, raise hand.
Hi, Krishna. Is to
Yes.
read?
Yeah, please read.
Now I'm confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me or certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me.
This is the perfect way to surrender. Karpanya dosho. Karpanya. There are two words, Brahmana and Kripana. Brahmana means broad-minded. Brahmana means whose vision is guided by scriptures. He can think beyond body. He can think beyond the boundaries of material life. But just opposite of Brahmana is Kripana. Kripana means short-sighted person. Karpanya. Karpanya comes from the word Kripana. Karpanya means short-sightedness, miserliness. Karpanya dosha. Because of the dosha, the weakness of Karpanya, my short-sightedness, upahata swabhava. My swabhav, my nature is being affected. I'm not able to think normally because this short-sightedness, this miserliness has affected me. Therefore, prichhami, I am asking. Pricha means asking. Prichhami means me. I am asking. Prichhami. Whom I am asking? Tvam, you. I am asking you. Why I am asking you? Dharma sammoda cheta. Because I am bewildered. My heart is completely confused. What is dharma? What I am supposed to do? Yes, Shreyasyan Nishitam Brohitanme. You can tell me what is good for me. Therefore, Shishyasteham, Shishya, I am your disciple. Shishyasteham, Shadimam, Shadi means instruct. Shadimam, Tvam Prapannam, Prapannam means surrender. Prapatti means surrender. So I am surrendering unto you, my Lord. Please help me. Please guide me. So on this note, Arjuna surrenders to Krishna. And this is a turning point in Arjuna's life. So far, he was not guided, and now he is going to get a guide in life. So therefore, Rupa Goswami says our spiritual life starts with Adav Guru Ashraya. When one surrenders to the spiritual master. So here Arjuna surrenders to Krishna, and tomorrow we will little bit study this verse in more detail. Prabhupada gave a nice purport to this. We will study the bullet points, and then we will go ahead in how Krishna starts to instruct Arjuna in the science of soul, in the science of Sambandha. So anybody has any question till now? What we studied, we read, we discussed. Any question? Yes, Nishta Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I have a question. It's related to 2.2. It's written, we learned about the three levels, Brahmana, Paramatma, and
It's not Brahmana, it's Brahman.
Brahman, yeah. Brahman, Paramatma, and Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's written over here in Bhagavatam 1.2.11 that all of them are identical. But like we learned that they have different levels, like it's level 1, then it's level 2, then it's how they are identical, Prabhuji.
See, Advayam means they are not different persons. Identical means they are the different aspects of the same person. Like this is my hand. So this is me. But if you cut off my hand and say that this is Krishna Keshwar, no. This hand belongs to me, it's one aspect of my existence. So that way it's identical to me. But you can't tell that this hand is Krishna Keshwar. In the same way, identical. Advayam means they are the same Supreme Lord, but they're different aspects of his existence. Like the effulgence coming out of Lord's body is identical to him. It's not separate from him. It carries energies. But you can't tell that Lord is limited to the effulgence. No, Lord is beyond that. So that is the meaning of being identical. Okay?
Thank you.
Any other question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. I have one question, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
As we talked about in today's world, where everybody is normally doing a job or is engaged in service basically. Then how will you how can a person identify it's a Brahminical quality, or it's a it's a Vaishya, or it's a Shudra, or it's a Kshatriya? Obviously,
See.
one is that we can say army, one teachers are Brahminical, or armies are people in army are Kshatriyas. But is that the right demarcation in terms?
See, you can tell that, but if you see how many soldiers in army are working without salary. Kshatriya never worked without salary. As Kshatriya never worked for a salary. But in army, we go for salary. Very few may be there who may be not taking salary. But Kshatriyas were not fighting for salary. Coming to teachers, Brahmanas were not teaching for salary. Salary means Shudra. In Hindi, we call Naukari. Naukari means who does Naukari? Naukar does Naukari. So salary means if you are working somewhere, means that is a Shudra mentality. But there may be mixtures of higher varnas. By birth, we are all Shudras, but we may have inclination to Brahminical culture. We may have inclination to Kshatriya. We may have inclination to Vaishya. But since there is no Gurukul system, there is nobody to actually enhance those qualities. By Prabhupada's mercy, we are getting chance to become Brahmanas. But Prabhupada himself accepted in his last days that he could not establish Varanashram because there is no chance to become Kshatriya. If you go around with a sword, police will arrest you. You can't become a Kshatriya exactly in this age of Kali. Vaishya, again, how many people can take care of cows at home, do their own agriculture, and then genuinely do business? Very difficult. So these different varnas are very difficult in this Kali Yuga. So most of the people are Shudras actually. Their profession may look like teacher, their profession may look like army, but actually they are doing for money, they're doing for salary. So that is the function of Shudra. But yes, if we take knowledge of the scriptures and when we develop mode of goodness, we can get chance to become Brahmana. So that is possible.
But Prabhuji, when in the past, if people are not working for the money or the whatever they get, how they are sustaining their families in that case?
Yeah. So Kshatriya would take taxes from the citizens. He would collect taxes. And those taxes he would use to maintain the Brahmanas. He would maintain the society. He would ensure that whole country would be completely economically sustainable. Prabhupada writes in one purport that Brahmanas would be given so much charity by kings that they would never go for begging. They would never charge people in the country for helping them for education and other things. King would maintain the Brahmanas. And for other citizens, Brahmanas would give free education, free astrology, free health. So that was Vedic society. So like that, Brahmanas would be maintained and Kshatriyas would be maintained. Vaishyas would maintain themselves by business and Shudras would get salary. They would work and help other Varnas and they would give them some money for their work. So that was Varnashram system.
Okay. Thank you.
Rasamrit Prabhu?
Krishna Prabhu. So we learn from Bhagwan has 6 opulences. So my question is Paramatma and Bhagwan the same, or what is the difference between them?
Paramatma and Bhagwan are same. It's just how much Lord reveals him in which form. Like just for example, at home, we may have so many things. We may have our dozens of set of clothes, we may have so many gadgets, we may have so much furniture, we may have so many things. But suppose when we travel to another city, what we do? We just pack a bag, just the essential. And we take that bag so that we do the journey of 2-3 days, come back. So Paramatma feature of Lord is like that. For a specific purpose, Lord comes and he helps the living entities. So he displays only limited qualities. He will not display all 6 opulences in full. So yes, he's the same person, but the purpose of Paramatma is only for maintenance of the universe. So he comes with that purpose with limited opulences. So that is called expansion. We will study in detail in Bhagavatam, but that expansion means for a specific person, Krishna comes with specific qualities. He has all the qualities, but he need not to carry it all the way for all the work. Just like when we go out, we don't carry whole house with us. We just carry the essentials in a bag. That is the difference. The same person, but carrying limited qualities. Like that. Okay.
Thank you.
Amar Nitai Prabhu, last question.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, in the beginning, you tell something about if we maintain the Varnashram system, then equilibrium can be maintained. So I forgot what you had explained in the beginning of it.
See, Varnashram system is like a protective shield for everybody, where they can perform safely as per their guna and karma. As per their natures, people can act. So if Varnashram system is followed, nobody feels insecure. That is the whole purpose. Now there is race to become a Shudra. Somebody who is Brahminical is also forced that no, you have to do job. Somebody who is having a propensity to do business, he is also forced. No, you have to do job. Somebody who may have inclination to do business or job is forced. No, you have to study well. He has no inclination to study, but he is forced to study. So then what happens? Insecurities come. Then people feel failure. Then they become depressed. Then they come in, so much depression. Then they commit suicide. And then they commit crime. Then they exploit others. So all this disturbance society is because we are forcing people to do what is against their nature. But Varnashram is according to the inclination of person. They are engaged. And when they're engaged as per the inclination, they are happy, they're satisfied, they are feeling content. And then can be encouraged in Krishna consciousness. So that way, following Varnashram can maintain that system of peace and prosperity in society. Right. Okay. Okay, last question, Moksha Rupi Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams. Prabhu, since you have told us that in today's world, in the age of Kali, everyone is Shudra, everyone is running after money, everyone is doing job. So in this present age, what is the importance of one ashram for us?
See, Varnashram is having same importance like previous ages. But the problem is, when Kali started, you know the pastime, Kali asked for place from Parikshit Maharaj. And Parikshit Maharaj gave him 4 places. But the problem was, those 4 sinful activities were not performed in Parikshit Maharaj's kingdom. Then Kali asked for another thing, that okay, give me place in gold, which is, not utilized in religious activities. So Parikshit Maharaj gave that place also. But another problem, that was also not available because Parikshit Maharaj started doing so many sacrifices and engaging whole money in Krishna consciousness. Then Kali did a very, very intelligent thing. He thought, as long as there will be Brahmanas, there will be sacrifices. And as long as there will be sacrifices, people will be pious. And when they will be pious, they will not commit 4 activities of sin. And when they will not commit these 4 sinful activities, I cannot enter. So he attacked Shringi, who later cursed Parikshit Maharaj. So he first of all destroyed Brahmanical class. When Brahmanical class is destroyed, he cursed Kshatriya, who was Parikshit Maharaj, and he cursed him to die. That way Kshatriya class is destroyed. Now imagine there is no head, there is no hands. What will happen about the body? There is nobody to protect, there is nobody to guide. So everybody will fall into the tendencies of Shudra. So that's how Varnashram fell. Now in Kali Yuga, what we need to do is, first of all, operate the head. Suppose a patient comes in hospital, his hands are having injury, his legs are having injury, and his head is having a big crack. Which part doctor will operate first? The head. So Prabhupada did the same thing. Prabhupada started creating Brahmanas. He started educating people in scriptures. When people are educated in scriptures, they can guide others who may not be that inclined to education, but they can be guided by Brahmanas to take up responsibility as Kshatriyas, to take up responsibility as Vaishyas, to take up responsibility as Shudras. So that is the whole system where Prabhupada started to guide people in Brahmanical qualities. So that's how we can save the world, by preaching Krishna consciousness. When we preach Krishna consciousness, people understand that I don't need to be in rat race. I can engage my tendency in serving Krishna. And that's how I purify my existence and go back to him. So that way this Varnashram can be re-established. So we have a long way to go. Prabhupada established only 50 years back. So we have to help this mission in growing and establishing the Vedic Varnashram again. Okay.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. I am sorry for going over time, but I think we are doing enough justice with the topic. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai.